Hey friends, welcome back to another video. My name's Lefebvre, and today we're going to be painting some loose watercolor poppies with some gouache detail. So let's jump right in and start. Okay, so today we are going to be painting some loose, vibrant colored poppies using watercolor and a bit of gouache. So I am going to be completely transparent. My color palette choice and my brush shape choice has been completely inspired by Jenna Rainey. If you're not following her on YouTube or Instagram, you should do that. I will link her socials below. She's a terrific artist, but she does these like vibrant paintings, especially recently using a lot of like reds and oranges and greens, which I found super inspirational and I wanted to kind of recreate in my own little way. But she's also been using a filbert brush to paint her flowers instead of a round brush, which she used to, and which I always do. Anyway, a filbert brush is basically like this brush, one of my Lefebvre Craftable brushes. We originally called it a mop brush, and then once I kind of used it and we sold our first batch, I realized it wasn't really much of a mop brush. A mop brush is more like this. And it was more of an oval wash brush, but it's also kind of like a filbert brush, which I think the only brush that I have that's like a filbert brush is this Himi Gouache brush. But basically it's like a flat, round tip brush like this. So we call ours, if you got yours from the first round, it's called a mop brush. If you got the second round, the second round, it's an oval wash brush, but it's also very similar to a filbert brush. So this is the only brush I have besides that other gouache one that is this shape, and she's been painting a lot with these, so I thought I would give it a try and use it to paint some flowers, and that's what we're going to do. And then for the center of the flowers, we're going to use some gouache to add some detail. Today I just want to play around and just use what I have that has been inspired by Jenna. So that's what we're doing. So let's jump right in. So I am painting in my Etcher Lab Cold Press Watercolor Sketchbook. I have my Winsor Newton Professional watercolors in my palette, my Emma Lefebvre and Craftamo Mop Oval Wash brush, 3/4 inch. And then I'm also going to be using my size 6 Etcher round brush for gouache. I don't want to use my watercolor brushes for gouache. You can, but I just would rather not. I'd rather keep my watercolor brushes just for watercolor and then use this for gouache. And then we're going to be using my Himi Gouache palette for the gouache portion. You don't have to use gouache, but I wanted to, so that is what we're doing. So we're going to be just painting some really loose, like bright red and orange poppies. So I'm going to be using Winsor red and cadmium orange and then olive green, maybe a little bit of yellow in there, cadmium yellow as well. But let's just dive right in. So I'm just going to take my brush, just going to put some here, and I'm just going to use the shape of this brush, which is already round, to create these petals. So I'm just going to, and then try and lift up and almost create in like a heart shape. Okay, and then I'm going to do one over on this side. And it does, try not to be perfect. I'm being too slow with this. But I want to create, I'm going to dip it in some orange as well. Throw some orange in there. And then I'm going to use my brush on an angle to get those little thinner strokes. So this brush is actually quite versatile, which is great because I never really used it before. But I saw her using it and I was like, oh, maybe I should give that a try. So now I am. Like that. Okay, now I'm going to do another one. I'm just going to add a little bit of water to my brush so I can have some kind of color bleeds. And I'm just going to try and be a little bit more loose with this one. I'm going to pick up some color. And I'm just trying to create these like super vibrant poppies. Kind of going back and forth between orange and red. Maybe add some up there. Like, how freaking pretty is that? So pretty. Like, I never typically use orange and red to do flowers, but I don't know, I saw her do it and I was like, wow, that's super vibrant. I need to get out of my comfort zone of using really muted tones. Okay, now I'm going to do one pointing down, so the flat part is going to be over here. So I'm just going to do a flat, long kind of stem petal. And I'm just kind of mixing the colors. And one thing I really like about the Winsor & Newton Winsor Red and Cadmium Orange is that they're super vibrant and actually a little more on the, what's it called, side? What am I trying to say? The opaque side. So I just added some water there so I can get a lighter one. Look up. Oh. Is orange my new favorite color? I mean, green's my favorite color, but orange might be up there as well. Look how pretty. Oh, it's so vibrant. I'm going to do maybe some little buds over here. It feels different using this kind of brush. I'm definitely used to using a round brush, but it's actually kind of fun to kind of step out of your comfort zone and try something new. Okay, so that's cool there. Now we're going to try some leaves. Using the same brush, I'm going to use my, what's it called, olive green for this. And I'm just going to, instead of using it flat like this, I'm just going to turn it and try and do light pressure, heavy pressure, light pressure. And just kind of play around, and I want them to kind of bleed into the green, or into the flowers. And the great thing with this brush is that you can actually use the side of it, like I'm doing, to create those smaller, thinner strokes, right? For like these stems and stuff. I don't know if I'd call these poppies, but whatever. We're just having fun. How pretty. It actually creates pretty great leaf shape. So she has a video on using this brush, like a filbert brush, and I've been dying to try, and then I realized I kind of have something similar in my set of my own brushes that I should just try. So that's what I'm doing, and it actually is pretty similar. Works well. Do a big. It is definitely a little bit different to use, though. I'm struggling a little bit. But it's fun. It's fun changing it up. I've also seen other artists on Instagram using these brushes for flowers too, which I never even thought of before. I've always kind of just stuck to a round brush out of comfort, but it's kind of fun trying something new. Okay, I don't want to overdo it, but I wonder if I should add some darker green in there. Just little bits. To some of the... Nah, I'm just going to keep it the olive green. Yeah. Well, little bits of darkness. That's all good. Okay. Okay. I'm just kind of trying to navigate my next move. I'm just kind of encasing these little buds with the green. Maybe I'll just add some lighter washes. So this video is just me playing around, if you haven't noticed. I don't really know exactly what I'm doing, but I'm liking it. I'm digging it. I'm just trying not to overwork it. Okay, so I'm going to let this dry, and then I'm going to come back with my gouache, and we're going to do the centers of the flowers to make them a little bit more detailed. Okay, so now I have my Himi gouache set, and I'm just gonna open it. Okay, and the centers, I want this like lime kind of green, and then like the yellow stamen kind of bits around it. So I'm just gonna grab some of these colors here. So I love this like lime green. Here, I'm just gonna add a little bit of water. I'm gonna throw it over here. Like that. And I'm just gonna do like a dotted center. I wonder if I should add a bit more dark green, just a tad bit. Like that. And I'm using gouache because I want to go over some of this red, and watercolor is transparent, so it'll be a lot more difficult to. If you don't have gouache, you might want to consider getting some white gouache, and then you can mix it with your watercolor. It won't be as vibrant, like to get like a bright, vibrant green like this, but it will make your watercolor more opaque. So then you could do more like light over dark. Okay, so I'm just dotting it like that. Yeah, I think that's what I want to do. Then I'm going to grab a little bit of yellow. So I already have some yellow here. Just kind of trying to reactivate it. I'm going to put a little, or I need more yellow. I'm going to grab some yellow from the palette. A little bit more water. Add it to the center. Maybe I need more. My gouache is starting to dry out. I gotta reactivate the ball and like stir them and all that. Okay, so there we go. A little bit more yellow towards the center. Okay, now I'm gonna do like the stameny or the little things around it. You know. Okay. Super technical with my words, I know. Okay, so now I'm just going to do like these tiny little lines. I feel like I need a darker yellow too, a bit, I think. Just gonna mix it a bit so it's a bit darker. There we go. I think that's better. We're gonna do these tiny little lines using the tip of our brush. Still trying to figure out gouache, people. Still trying to figure it out. The right consistency to get what I want. And then we're going to do a bunch of dots. I might have to go back in with like a darker color as well to make this stand out a bit more, because I feel like I'm losing some of that detail. But again, we're just playing around, so we'll see what happens. Okay, there's that one. There, that's a bit better. Shorter on the underside. And then dots. Or they're more like little lines like this. Oops, I'm putting my hand in that and that's not dry yet. That's fine. Okay, it's all good. like that. Okay. And then I think I'm going to also just add some lines to the poppies. I think. I'm going to take this darker red and just mix it here. It's a little bit purpley now because I added a little bit of blue. And I think I might just do some really detailed, like tiny thin lines coming from the top. You can even do some of those little, kind of like outline them. Not all of them, but just do like little flicks of the lines with the littlest bit of your brush, the tip of your brush. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. My brain's not working. I can barely speak or make sense these days. I'm going to do some dots like that just so you can kind of see the yellow a bit better. I think this looks good. I don't know. Like that. And I'm just going to do some lines. Always curve it with the curve of the petals. Yeah, that's kind of cool. And I want to act like this one is kind of curved up, so I'm just going like that. Okay, I like that. All right, next one. I kind of go outline some of these. I feel like I have to do something with the green in the middle too. I feel it looks a little too vibrant. I don't know. You're just hearing all the thoughts in my head right now as I work. Trying to be as light as possible with my strokes to get them really thin. Do some on the buds here from the top as well. And the bottom. Like that. Really digging this bright color. It's so pretty. I find myself using muted tones mostly. I don't know why. I just gravitate more towards them than bright colors, but sometimes it's just fun to change it up and add a lot of brightness to your life. So these lines are just kind of acting like they're folds. Like that. Cool. Okay, and then I feel like maybe we can add a little bit of brown to the center where the green is. I don't know. Just kind of like doing this like scribbling pattern. This brush actually has a great tip. I'm getting some really fine lines there. I like that. And then part of me kind of wants to do a little bit of detail on the leaves as well. So I already made this like dark green. I just used some black and then some of the green that was in the palette. So I'm going to reactivate it. And I kind of just want to add some lines. I don't know. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm being loose with it and just kind of having fun. I like that. I think that looks cool, but I also don't want to take away too much from like the cool watercolor blooms and stuff on here. So I don't want to go overboard. So I'm going to try and keep it to a minimum. That's the hardest part sometimes, is trying not to overwork something or take something away from what makes it unique. And does that make sense? So I'm just adding some darkness. I don't know. I don't know if I like that. I feel like it looks weird in here. That's okay. Maybe do some more like scribbly. Just try and keep it interesting looking. Like that. And then this I smudged with my hand, but that's okay. I really like this. I think this is a lot of fun, actually. I'm enjoying adding gouache to this. That's kind of cool. Now, I don't know if I'm done or not. I think I'm done. Yeah, I think I'm going to stop there because I don't want to overwork it, but that looks freaking cool. Part of me wants to add a little bit of yellow to the poppies. Like, I wonder if that's a silly mistake or not. Just little touches of yellow. Just to brighten it up a bit. I don't know. Almost like they're highlights. Just little bits. Don't overdo it. Like that. And maybe a bit on the buds. Okay, now I think I'm done. But there you go. Holy poop. I actually really liked that. And that was a lot of fun to do. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. I really hope you liked it and I hope you learned something. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and follow me on Instagram for even more. Have a great day, guys. Bye.